Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Snow White with the Red Hair, chapter 115. When we last left our heroes, Earl Lugiria came to Obi's room to try to tell him about, he had been informed by Sudaba Burgat, that a subordinate of Toka was hiding somewhere in Lugiria's territory. He was forced to also tell this to Shirayuki. And I think they agreed to help him, as I recall. It was also what everything that Lugiria was doing at the banquet was actually all about. But also, Obi left to go to Sudaba's place to try to get help from him directly. And that's kind of where we left off last time, so let's jump into chapter 115. Our picture here, the famous teacher and student duo on standby. And, Ryu is, in a chair with a book open, and Shirayuki is, leaning on the back of the chair. Anyway, we open back in the Sudaba house, in Suraba's home, where we left off. Tariga and I acted according to our brother's instructions, but we didn't meddle in his personal matters. So there might have been persons or organizations my brother was involved with that we weren't aware of. There might be some whose crimes had not come to light and had hidden themselves. We decided to investigate them in turn, but... And Obi asks, one of them was suspicious, huh? It was Mrs. Lyra, which doesn't mean anything to me or to Obi. Lyra? Mrs.? Or maybe it does, hold on, because last chapter opened with that mysterious woman, right? And there were some theories going around that mysterious woman might be related to Obi's past. So maybe that's all going to get tied in together here. Yes, her husband passed away quite a while ago. She's someone that belongs to Earl Lugiria and has been financially supported by my brother. That fact is indisputable. Toka was financially supporting her? Why? I don't know. However, my brother isn't the kind of person who would support someone for nothing. What could the reason be? Maybe there's something behind the scenes. Obi kind of thinks as he chews his meal, and then kind of lets out, maybe he was in love. And Suraba stops with the glass halfway to his face and looks at Obi. That's the first time I've heard someone crack a joke about my brother. Nah, I was just trying to state one of the possibilities. Huh? My brother. Having, for someone... And kind of looks away, and Obi looks at him. He was pretty obsessed with gaining political power, so for his heart to be stolen by someone, the possibility of that is... not entirely zero, I guess, but... and Obi finishes the thoughts. If he did have a moment of infatuation, that would mean he had a heart, right? I suppose so, though it may seem overly simplistic. No, I don't disagree. And Surdaba looks at him and then smiles. But I still think my brother is not someone with such two-facedness. Well, if she was a lover or a mistress, I'm sure they must have left behind some traces of it. Yes, but I didn't get that impression from the letter she sent to my brother either. You read it? I glanced over all the things sent to my brother, you see. It wasn't a love letter. What were the contents? The letter was written like it was for an acquaintance that is taking care of her, composed of her relaxed daily life and recent events. Alright, so just kind of a normal letter then. But that is exactly the biggest reason to suspect her. And Obi flinches at that. And just then, one of the servants takes up an uneaten slice of cake, I think? Or maybe he's putting it down, I can't quite tell. I think he's putting it down. Obi looks at it, thanks. And Suraba notices that, do you not take sweet things? I take them, it was just the moment, the timing, you see. He figured that if you rode a horse all the way here without passing through the checkpoint, you would probably be tired. If you'd like, please enjoy it. And Obi kind of looks at him, what's with that excuse? He probably looks pissed, he said. I see that neither of you likes to tattle. So what was suspicious about that pleasant letter? And right as he says that, the servant comes back to take some of the plates, I think. Or no, maybe that's Suraba standing up. Yeah, Suraba stands up, and he goes over to get the letter to give to Obi. It's an invitation. An invitation? Obi Dono. Do you know of the banquet of the Masked Knight? Then we go back to the Lugiria estate, as Shirayuki is on the balcony kind of looking out. She's handed a cup of tea. You finally got to stay here. By the Earl, who handed her the tea. Aren't you guys going to talk about what you wanted to request of me? And Shiryuki looks at him. Not right now. That's what I decided with Ryu and Obi. Why? You've listened to my request, so it's alright for me to listen to yours next. It's because the conversation will end up like that. Obi's intermediation and our business are separate issues. It's not right to see them as one. And Lugiria looks at her like, really? You're quite an inflexible person, huh? Please mind your own business. And Lugiria turns to look out at the horizon. It's all right for you to be a bit more brazen. For me, I find it ideal to be able to abuse my power and have someone abuse their power back at me. And Shiryuki just looks at him. It's upsetting when you look at me with that look. No, I just have the memory of doing that before. But it's difficult for you to abuse your power, isn't it? Still, wouldn't it be unfair for me to say so? After all, you kindly chose not to employ your strategy in the garden during the banquet. I forget, hold on, what exactly, was the strategy to kiss her or something? Because Lugiria's response is, that was because you crammed the flower into my mouth. I did not cram it in. Did he try to kiss her during the banquet? It's been so long since I read the banquet, I barely remember it. Thanks, hiatus. Anyway, the two of them go inside. And Shu, I think is Lugiria's servant's name, kind of whispers over to Ryu. Ryu Dono, how does Shiryuki Dono look to you? I wonder if she enjoyed her time with him. Huh? And Ryu kind of looks up. And Lugiria kind of waves goodbye to Shiryuki. I wonder. A maid came to get Lugiria, and Shu responds, what bad timing. And Shiryuki, I think, looks back over the balcony. And Ryu comments on her. I think she's probably worried about Obi-san, hoping that he would return uninjured. But I'm not her, after all. Should I ask her for you? Huh? No, it's fine. Ryu does not have time for this romantic bullshit. He's like, let's just get to the bottom of all these personal questions, and then let's get back to science. And Shu asks Ryu, does Obi-Dono often come back with injuries? Yes, countless times. There were also some due to the knight's training. I see. What about you, Ryu Dono? Do you know any swordplay? Me? Not at all. Though I watched what my friend was learning. I see. Then you might just be able to grasp some of the training. Why don't you try it? Lugiria has appeared right behind Ryu, right as Ryu says, I won't. I'm sorry to interrupt this rather unorthodox way of deepening your friendship, but Ryu, Shiryuki, you have a guest. He's here for you royal pharmacists. Okay, I know Zen and Kiki are in the area, so it might be them. Or it's not, it's someone new. I am from the Hiates Night Circle. My name is Yozumi Iriz. Did someone tell you that there were royal pharmacists presiding up here? Yes, the topic came up in the circle. And Shu looks at him, Iriz. And Ryu asks, what do you need us for? Yozumi pulls out a parcel, and then pulls out another parcel inside of the parcel. Or no, he pulls out a bag out of a pouch on his belt, and pulls out a parcel out of the bag, and I think he pulls something out of that parcel, which makes Lugiria think, how precious is this? And it's a bottle of something. And Shiryuki asks, it's perfume. I wanted to ask if you know what kind of perfume this is. And Lugiria asks, what kind? You mean it's raw materials? Even Shu. And Shu turns to glare at him. I'm not entirely sure why. Yozumi also looks shocked at that. And is there some secret that we know that Shu seems to recognize the Iriz family. So is there a big secret between the Irizes, Shu, and perfume? I'm sorry. Was I not supposed to touch it? Oh wait, no. Yozumi's freaking out because Lugiria has picked up the bottle. And Shu, I think, is freaking out because he doesn't want that to be brought up, maybe? I don't know. No, I'm sorry, was I not supposed to touch it? No, its scent is strong, so please be careful. Is that so? And Shiryuki thinks, that surprised me. But anyway, Lugiria smells it. Oh, it smells nice. I like it. And Shiryuki can also... It's just really strong. So she can smell it from all... Oh, no, never mind. I think... Is she holding the bottle there? I don't think she is, but her hands are doing a weird thing. It's sweet. It's unique. I don't really have a strong impression, though. And Ryu just kind of like rubs his nose. Huh? Ryu, are you bad with perfumes? No. This was shut away with something that feels similar to alcohol. Any idea about the scent? And Shiryuki asks, or replies, I can't seem to match it with anything. Me neither. I see. Hey, Lady Killer. Yes. Oh, so I guess Shu is just kind of like a playboy. So he's like around women a lot, so he knows their perfume. And so Shu takes a sniff of it. This is, and Yozumi looks up. Do you know of it? My apologies. I don't know it either. And Yozumi kind of like looks away, defeated. Lugiria looks at him, and Shiryuki thinks just now he looked relieved. Who's looking relieved? There are 3 men here. I can't quite tell who's the relieved one. I don't know what it is. This is Shu. But this kind of sweetness is rather, well, of the alluring kind, you might say. And Shiryuki, like, there's kind of like shy looking away when he says that, but Shiryuki thinks, alluring? And Lugiria asks him, with just the scent? An alluring person would have a nice scent, so it makes you think the scent is alluring. Isn't that usually the case? Well, in the usual... So Lugiria is saying that normally an alluring scent is just someone who's already alluring. Okay. Well, in the usual order of things, that would be the case. I'm sorry. As you can see, my imagination tends to run wild. But Yozumi looks kind of struck by that. I don't know why. And Shiryuki asks him, where did you get this? Yes. I bought it from somewhere around 3 years ago, but I forgot. I tried to look for something similar to it, and managed to find some. But when I asked which shop it came from, I was told I didn't know. And Lugiria asks, rather than looking for where it's sold, you should have looked for where it was made. And Yozumi makes a face that makes it very clear he has not thought of that. Sorry. Shiryuki responds, it doesn't look like you are finding out because you want to try it out for the first time. Did something happen? And Yozumi looks at her, and Shiryuki kind of like looks back. Yozumi, scents aren't their field of study. You came to these royal pharmacists to ask for their help for something else, right? And Yozumi looks down, still like petrified. His face does not match the vibe here. Yes. And then I guess some time more passes, and Shu walks back into the room. Ah, you're back. This is Lugiria. How is he? Has Yozumi calmed down? Yes. In that case, I shall examine him. That's Shiryuki? I guess, did he like pass out from that? I don't know. And Ryu looks at her, but Shu leads her to the room. He's in the next room. Okay. And they're kind of like walking, and Shu pauses for a moment before he turns to her. Yozumi-san is rather handsome, so I'm sure you'll be nervous being alone with him. But I'm also handsome myself, so Shiryuki Dono, you have nothing to worry about. Shiryuki's just so confused at that. No, I thought if you were nervous, I would try to help you relax. Ah, it was quite effective. Shiryuki's just like, what even was that? Looks like I embarrassed myself for a bit. Well, no. There's a knock on the door. Shiryuki knocks. Please come in. And Yozumi is sitting in a chair. Have you managed to calm down? Yes. May I sit? Yes, of course. She sits down. Yozumi flinches. Would you like cold or hot water? After we're done, you can even have some tea. I'm fine. I will ask for it later, so it's all right. I see that you have some dark circles too. Please make sure to sleep well tonight. Yozumi closes his eyes and doesn't say anything for a moment. Yozumi-san? Ah, yes. I will do that. I've completely gotten used to my narrow bed at the base, you see. Though I'm worried if I can actually sleep well, but... He's like shaking here. I do not know what's going on here at all. But Shiryuki stops him. Let's stop here. I will head out first. You can't. Please wait. I want to stay with you, Shiryuki Dono. And that's the end of the chapter. Okay. So this chapter is very easily divided into 2 parts. First, the continuing of the main, what seems to be the main plot of the arc, with Sotoba talking about the spy, the subordinate that his brother has in Lugiria territory. This Mrs. Lyra person, I think. Yeah, Lyra, something like that. How she wrote what seemed to be perfectly normal letters, but there's something suspicious about them. And then somehow an invitation to what's called the Banquet of the Masked Knight is involved, which I don't think is the same banquet from when we first arrived at Lugiria territory. I think that was just like a regular banquet. But I don't know. That's really all we see of that. Because the rest of the chapter focuses on this Yozumi guy and a bunch of perfume sniffing. Which turns out to not apparently be why he was there in the first place. As Lugiria kind of cuts into him. So I don't really know how the perfume ties into what Yozumi's deal actually is. But also I don't know what Yozumi's deal is. He just kind of keeps breaking down before he can, like, say anything. Though I will say, there is a really interesting moment here when Shiryuki sits down in the room alone with him. We hear a clatter, which might just be like her sitting down, I think. But we also see a shot of Shiryuki's earring before he flinches. So maybe that has something to do with it? I don't know. There's a lot of mysteries there, and we won't find out until next month. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say for this video. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!